by the Video Store.
What's up, everybody? Corey here from housebythevideostore.com. Pretty pumped about today's episode because today we're going to be reviewing a complete guilty pleasure of mine. I'm talking about none other than the 1986 crap fest, Spookies. Some call it a catastrophe. Some say it's downright awful. Some say they can make a better film with 13 bucks, their grandma's 92 shoulder cam, and a lot of time sniffing glue in the garage. But I say screw that. Spookies is an absolutely awesome film, drunk or sober. I mean, you don't win the 15th annual 1986 Delirium Award for making a shitty film, right? Now, first off, this is actually two different films that were edited together to make one. The film was originally to be titled Twisted Souls, and the first filming stint was shot in 1984 and directed by Brendan Faulkner and Thomas Durant. Now, somewhere during the filming process, there was a dispute between the producers and the financial backer of the film, and the project was shit-canned. Maybe they actually read the 6-page script and came to their senses. Now, fast forward to 1985, where Eugene Joseph was hired to direct more footage and add to the movie that was later edited into what we now know as Spookies. Now, don't get me wrong here. I'm sure this has happened before on other films and probably gone unnoticed, but it's so obvious that this is two different films because the characters in both never interact with each other one time. I'll go ahead and give them a D- for effort because you can tell they're actually trying, but ultimately failing, and most likely gave up on even trying to make any sense of the film halfway through it. It just kind of wanders off, and the two films go completely different directions. It's kind of like the movie Gummo, except worse, and with a sock puppet.
It's funny, I grew up with these people.
This guy. I'll get to him later. Now bear with me here. The film opens with young rebel runaway Billy looking to celebrate his birthday on his own because his parents forgot about it.
So here's to you, Billy. Happy birthday.
He finds an old house in the middle of the cemetery and upon entering finds that a whole celebration with presents and birthday cake are waiting for him. Then he just kind of randomly figures that his parents set it up for him.
Cool.
Now that seems normal, right? Mom? Dad? And now the terror begins.
Happy birthday, Billy.
And young Billy was never heard from again. Now the rest of the film is about a group of young partygoers looking for a spot to shack up in, you guessed it, party. They decided that the same old house in the middle of the cemetery was their best move. Wrong move. Upon cliche tough guy character Duke's insistence to go inside,
Come on, people, what are you, afraid of the dark?
this is where we're introduced to the second part of the movie's film and meet some geriatric old turd of a sorcerer that apparently controls the house. Confused yet? Now, the sorcerer's whole existence, aside from torturing unwanted guests, is to steal souls to give to his comatose bride and give her the gift of eternal life so they can be together forever. The only problem is she wants nothing to do with the crusty old dude.
Stay away.
This forces the sorcerer to send his children after her, one of which is dressed like Aladdin, with a hook hand, and is some sort of devil cat stepchild. Hey, that sounds like an 80s hair metal song.
Alone in the dark with the devil cat stepchild, chase your ass around the cemetery.
Now, aside from the chase being on between the bride and the Catman, the young partygoers from the first part of the film have started to play with the Ouija board and accidentally opened up a 12-pack of good old 80s zombie and haunted house creature whoop-ass. Now this is where a whole shitstorm of awesome begins because the house is set up like an old video game with a different badass creature in every room of the house waiting to pick off each person in it one by one. Now, if you were wondering what happened to our friend with the sock puppet, let's just say I wasn't the only person that thought he sucked. Pun intended. Wait, hold up. I was gonna sit here and go on this big rant about how every creature in the house is awesome for this reason or that reason, but I'm just gonna make you watch this. That's right, they're shitting. Shitting monsters. If these giant mudman linebackers weren't already scary enough, now they gotta walk around and blow ass all over the place. Now seriously though, think about it. If somebody's trying to kill you, that's already scary enough. But if somebody's shitting all over themselves while they're chasing after you, that's absolutely terrifying. Shit just makes everything uncomfortable. What the fuck? This better not be real shit. One thing that shines about this movie is the ridiculously underrated special effects done by a crew of SFX artists, including Gabe Bartalos and John Dodds. This movie really flew under the radar for me based on special effects alone, and I have no clue how I dodged it for so many years because I'm a sucker for 80s creatures from the golden age of special effects. From slimy alligator-like creatures, grotesque talking zombies, an electricity monster, the transformation from a woman to arachnid that's pretty gross to watch, to the goddamn Grim Reaper himself. This movie has it all. Bad acting, shitty characters, horrible lighting, and an absolute mashup nightmare of a storyline to follow. But I could not recommend this movie more. Now I'm going to go ahead and give this movie a 3 out of 5 because with horror movies there are bad movies that are just plain bad. Then there are bad movies that are just flat out fun to watch, and Spookies is definitely one of those movies.